Okay, I'm going to tell you what staying woke means. Staying woke means you are able to see the unseen. Even though there is not media telling you or keeping reminders of what's really going on in the world, you still know for a fact that it's still going on. Staying woke also means that you do your own research. You do your own due diligence. You do your own personal investigations to find out the truth. And then when you find out the truth, you check the resources, make sure that they're credible, make sure the person who's writing the article or whatever you're reading is a good person, check their previous work. You make sure that everything's checked out, it's all facts, and you live with that new information. You don't forget about it. Just because your friends are not talking about it, just because the TV is not mentioning that there's pedophiles in the White House or whatever, you still know that there's stuff going on. Just because the TV is not going to tell you that the Pope is a pedophile, that he's running with the Jewish establishment trying to conquer the world, you still know these things. Just because they're not telling you on TV that melanated people or black people are being targeted specifically by the government, or that the government wants to make sure you're brainwashed by religion and make sure that they want to harvest everyone's energy and keep everybody a slave. Just because the media is not telling you these things does not mean it's not happening. So staying woke is knowing what's going on, knowing about the conspiracies, knowing about the things that are actually going on in the government and what's going on with these people who have the most money in the world. Knowing that and not forgetting about it and living your life day by day with this new information without basically any reminders, without anyone having to remind you that you need to help save the world or you need to help stop the pedophiles. You know, you don't need these kind of reminders. That's what staying woke is all about, is hearing this stuff and it made it change in you. And you're like, whoa, okay, that's how the world really is? Okay, now we're going to have to adjust to it then. I'm not about to go back to sleep and go back to playing little games like I was. Now we got to step ourselves up in it a little bit, since these people are out here acting crazy, right? We got some crazy people out here with a couple $1 billion that think they're big shots. So now we're going to have to take those kind of people down. And that's what staying woke is all about. It's not just sitting back saying, oh, there's people with billions of dollars, they're going to rule the world. Let's just go to church and keep our heads down. No, we don't do that. Staying woke means that there's some people out here that want to take over the world, and I'm looking out to make sure that if I see any changes, if I see them trying to push anything on us, I'm pointing it out, I'm ripping it down, I'm telling people about it, and making sure people around me gonna see what I see, because that's what staying woke is about, because everybody else is asleep pretty much. So to stay woke is actually a privilege and actually a birthright. It's a Anunnaki thing. It's a top of the consciousness type of thing. Lower consciousness people like to sleep and do the lower root chakra stuff. The higher chakra is expanding consciousness, which is the all-seeing eye, which is another word for staying woke. So if you want that all-seeing eye, if you want that third eye, that pineal gland activation, that activated pineal gland, then you have to stay woke. And that means drenching yourself in knowledge, in the truth. I mean, swimming all in the deep end in truth. Go places in the truth that people are afraid to go. So a lot of people suffer from the cognitive dissonance, which is they're afraid to dive into new information because it might shatter their beliefs that they have right now. They're scared to let go of what they know because new information might contradict, it might supersede, it might be too real for their little fake information, and they want to hold on to that fake information for a little bit longer. They don't want to cancel that little fake subscription they got right now. They don't want to go to the real side. And those are the people who are staying asleep. So you got to stay woke. That means you got to keep it real. That means you got to surround yourself in truth and knowledge, and you speak the truth and knowledge. When you see something you don't like, you speak on it. If you taste something you don't like, you say, spit that stuff out. You're just constantly keeping it 1,000, constantly keeping it real, all the way 360. And that's just how it is. So you keep it 1,000, keep it 100, you keep it well-rounded, and you'll stay wholesome, and you'll stay whole. And that's just what keeping it real is, and that's what staying woke is knowing that there's things going on in the world, and not just falling back because you feel so helpless that you can't do anything about it. You don't just fall asleep because of that. You notice that there's things going on in the world, and you realize that you have a greater consciousness than these people who have caused the people who have caused the destruction. You have a greater consciousness than them. because positivity is way more abundant than negativity. So for this negativity to be going on in the world, it's they have to do a lot of work and a lot of maintenance and a lot of upkeep. And they have to keep re-brainwashing people and to keep adding new things, new propaganda to brainwash people. It's a hell of a process they have to go through to keep people brainwashed. So the positivity is so much lighter because once you give somebody the light, they can run with it. But the darkness, you got to keep them down. You got to stay down with somebody to keep them down. So to bring somebody up, you can give somebody light and walk away. They can carry the torch by themselves. But staying woke is keeping that torch lit, even when you're out there in the darkness all by yourself. You just keep it lit and add more fire to it, make it burn brighter, because that truth will set you free, and there's no way around that. It's each one teach one.